Are you a Prudential Financial customer? Did you know that they recently had a data breach that exposed the data of over 2.5 million customers? Really, 2.5 million is small compared to some of the breaches. But if you're one of those 2.5, well, you'll want to, if you use Prudential Financial, you'll want to find out about this. I'm Bryan Longworth, host of a Faster PC Live technical support, and coming up next, we'll discuss this breach and talk about ways that you can protect yourself not only from this breach, but from others as well. Now, one of the things we do like to do is we like to go over some of the latest threats that are out there, so that you can take alert, be aware of this, and that you can actually take action if any of these impact you. Now, the Prudential Financial Company has stated that 2.5 million people have been impacted by a data breach. Really, 2.5 million is small compared to some of the breaches. But if you're one of those 2.5, well, you'll want to, if you use Prudential Financial, you'll want to find out about this. You'll want to actually reach out to them, see if your records were a part of that data breach. There are some steps you can take depending on what was released. You may lock your credit. You can go to the various credit bureaus and you can lock your credit report so that no one can actually open up a new loan in your name. You can definitely look for any other information like bank accounts or debit card information, any information that might be out there. You can actually check on that. Now, also another thing to think about: what about usernames and passwords? Were those breached? And if they were breached, and you're one of those out there, I know some of you listening use the same password on every website. And here's what happens. If you use the same password on every website, what happens is if a hacker breaks in to that database or that company's, one of those companies and gathers your information, they'll actually take those same credentials and they'll try them at multiple websites, like for instance your email or your Facebook account or your Google account. They'll check and they'll try and they'll see if they can get in. And if they can get into these accounts, well, some really bad things really start to happen at that point. So it is advisable, first of all, to use a unique, complex password at every website. It's also advisable to make sure that you are checking to see whether your information is on the dark web. And how can you do that? Well, you can do that. There are a number of ways that you can do that. We actually have a password management system that will do two things. It'll actually take care of really both of the issues that we've talked about, because a lot of people, it's just difficult to come up with a complex password, and so people use the same password at every site, or they use their dog's name or their puppy's name or their cat's name or their child's name or their grandkid's name. I even know someone who uses grandkids as part of their password. It's difficult to keep track of these passwords, and so people have either the passwords are stored in the browser. Well, if your passwords are stored in your browser, then what happens if you let a hacker into or a scammer into your computer? I can guarantee you within seconds they will have access to your passwords. And I know this because we can get access to your passwords. We don't use this maliciously, but we do for companies. We do offer cybersecurity penetration testing. And our test within seconds is able to gather all of the usernames and passwords that are stored in your browser. So people do it that way. They also will keep those passwords in a file on their computer. Well, if that file is not password protected and a hacker gets a hold of your computer, or you let a hacker into your computer or a scammer into your computer, which happens. We work with customers that where this has happened really every week. We're working with customers and helping them get rid of this this situation and helping them to change their usernames and passwords. And we were just helping a customer with that yesterday. So how do you manage this? People write things down in a book, but then what happens is the book doesn't have a delete and a where you like a computer file where you can actually delete the password and enter in a new password. The book. So what they do is they cross through the password, and then they write a new password, and then they cross through that password when they change that, and they write a new password, and they do this. And we have customers that come in here trying to get into their account, and they have 5 or 6 passwords written down that are crossed out. They have one that's not crossed out, but it's not their current password either. So at some point they changed their password and they didn't write it down. So it becomes very difficult to manage these passwords, and the password complexity is fairly simple because the people are coming up with a simple password. And the password security that we actually use, it actually has the ability to go in and create a complex password. It can be 10 characters, 20 characters, 30 characters. I like using 30 characters a lot of times. For some things we use 50-character passwords, and you can use longer than that if you wanted to. And you might say, well, I would never remember that password. And by the way, you wouldn't. It's a mixture of uppercase letters, random mixture of uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. And so you can get all kinds of really crazy passwords out of this, but the good thing is you don't have to remember them. It remembers them. The only thing that you have to do is actually you have to remember your password to get into that password vault. You also have to. There's also a MFA. It can be protected with MFA, which stands for multi-factor authentication. And really, you should be protecting all of your accounts with MFA. And so when you log in, you enter first your username, and then you enter your MFA code. So a hacker that's trying to use brute force to break your password would not be effective unless they had access to your MFA, your multi-factor authentication. So you can do that with an app, and as long as you have your phone, the hacker's not going to have access to that. So this helps protect you. And this system is so secure that we can't see your passwords. And also, unless you share them with us, some of our customers do share their passwords with us, because maybe they change their password or maybe we have their password and they need to get into that account sometimes as well. So we'll actually create it and share it with them. But you actually have this situation where you can share the password with other users if you want, or not share it. We can't get into your account to see your passwords. The company that provides this service can't get into your account either. So it is a very secure system, and it does actually create those complex passwords, and it can help you change your passwords as well. It can even, when you're creating a complex password, some financial institutions like banks, they're really not very secure. They actually have situations where what they do is they don't protect you as much. The password length is not as long as what I would like it to be sometimes. A lot of them won't allow you to use, for instance, a 30-character password, much less a 50-character password. And there's certain characters that they don't allow also. So this password protection utility actually has the ability to remove some of those special characters so that it only uses the characters that the bank is going to allow. And so that's a great thing, but it also has, going back to whether your information is on the dark web. How would you know if your information is on the dark web? Well, there's an add-on that actually will check the dark web for your usernames and your passwords to see whether your information is on the dark web. And if it is on the dark web, it actually notifies you that it's on the dark web. It lets you know about that so that you can actually go out there and address that and change it. You can actually go out there and change the password and come up with a password that is fully, completely complex. And a password that's totally different than your other passwords, any other password that you've used in the past. And so this will allow you to be able to actually again create those secure passwords that will protect you. If you are interested in that service, you can give our office a call at 772-878-5978. Again, 772-878-5978. We can help you. We can get that password utility ready for you. We can help you get it set up. We can make sure that it does have a recovery phrase that can help you if you need to recover your password to get into it, or if maybe if you pass away and one of your loved ones needs to get into it. We help people with that as well, and we can help you. We can help your loved ones get into your account if you're no longer with us. And that's an important thing as well. An important thing to think about. One of the things that I've done for my wife is I've created this system for us where I have usernames and passwords. And by the way, when I started this process, I had a password protected spreadsheet that had over 450 usernames and passwords, and they had very complex passwords, but still they weren't as complex as the ones I'm creating today. And I don't have to create them. I just click a button. There's a little dice that you click, and it actually automatically creates a password. And you can use that in your system, and then you can save it. So if you're interested in getting this set up, you can give us a call, 772-878-5978, 772-878-5978. It's very helpful. It's worth the money that you spend on it, which isn't a lot of money, but it's worth the money that you spend on it to have the ability to create complex passwords, and also the ability to not have to remember those passwords, and then the ability it has the ability to autofill those usernames and passwords on websites, and it stores it in a way that is secure, so that if a hacker gets a hold of your account, or your computer, they're not going to be able to get in and quickly see this information. So again, if you're interested in getting signed up with this, give us a call, 772-878-5978, 772-878-5978. I hope you've liked this video, that you've learned something from it. If you have, please click the like button, click subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when we release new videos. And remember, when you have cybersecurity problems, you need a faster PC.